More and more pressure is mounting on Emmerson Mnangagwa as the days are getting numbered of his very existence. We are seeing quite a lot of messages that are coming out of many people, many political actors and organizations, individuals. Zimbabweans of all walks of life are really behind the Geza revolution. Everyone wants to see things taking a new twist in Zimbabwe. Douglas Mwonzora throws more weight on ANTI-2030 campaign as more and more pressure continues to mount on Mnangagwa. And it is quite very sad that Mwonzora has now started to really see that you can never befriend ZANU-PF and be a friend of it. ZANU-PF is not a friend of anybody, including all those people that are in it. And these are things that we've always been saying to people like Douglas Mwonzora. Now Mwonzora is crying foul, is now speaking left, right, and center, attacking Emmerson Mnangagwa and standing against the 2030 agenda after he has seen that Mnangagwa has thrown him to the dustbin, and Mnangagwa is actually making moves to remove Douglas Mwonzora from being president of MDC. And many people that have been paid already by Mnangagwa who had deflected to ZANU-PF are the same people that went to court and they won the case that elections were not done properly in the MDC. Where we saw him last time on a video crying foul about this situation. But of course, these are things that we continue to say to our people, that it's high time that people realize that, yes, you may enjoy it while it lasts, enjoying being a friend of ZANU-PF, but there's always a day that they will forget about you. They will dump you, throw you away. They do that to their own people. And why should you think that you can be an exception? So we need really to be very careful dealing with these people and know that they love themselves more than anybody. And when it comes to choosing who to serve, they will sacrifice you and save themselves. So let's hear what Douglas Mwonzora had to say about the issue of the 2030 as he continues to add more and more pressure on this subject.
Equally, as the MDC, we led the fight and we are leading the fight against the 2030 agenda. It was the MDC that held a press conference in Harare in January this year to announce its opposition to the machinations of ZANU-PF of trying to give President Mnangagwa a third term. We were then joined by other political parties, civil society organizations, the church was very strong, and the war veterans. The war veterans are also very strong on that point. So it is not the war veterans who started the fight against the 2030. It was the MDC. We may be saying it in different ways, and the agendas may also be different. But our agenda as the MDC is that we are against the desecration of our constitution. Our constitution is very, very clear. A president, a person will run the affairs of the country for a maximum of 10 years, after which they must go home. And on that point, we put the government on notice. We put the people of Zimbabwe on notice that as the MDC, we are going to vote no in the referendum. In fact, there must be two referendums. The first referendum will be a simple referendum to extend the term of office of the president. And the second one is a referendum to say whether or not Mnangagwa must benefit from the extension. Because Section 328 is very, very clear that if there is an extension of term, that extension shall not benefit the incumbent. So it will not benefit the current president. In order to amend that, to change that, there must be a referendum. So there must be two referendums. And we make a point that President Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF are wasting the time and resources of the people of Zimbabwe. They want us to embark on an expensive program of two referendums simply because they want to stay in power. The justification that they are giving is that Mnangagwa has done well. Mnangagwa's government is a disaster. Our mineral resources are being pillaged and plundered by other nations. Our mineral resources in their raw form are being shipped every day to such destinations as China, in the Far East, in the Middle East. And this is the courtesy of the government of Mnangagwa. Our economy is terrible. Our economy is bad. There is unemployment. There is mass unemployment. There is poverty, debilitating poverty. And last year, 500,000 school children were unable to go to school. We suspect that the statistic is even worse this year. So one cannot argue that President Mnangagwa has done well. President Mnangagwa has not done well.
Right. So this is what it is. Indeed, he is saying quite a lot of very, very important points there. While, of course, Zimbabwean people will be still looking at Dagi with a talking eye because of the things that he has done. But generally, he is really saying things that are very, very correct. But I still feel that he is starting to learn a lesson from the mistakes that he has done. Unfortunately, I think he'll be too proud to come back to the Zimbabwean people and apologize for what he did to the people. But let us support one another. This is a Zimbabwean cause that everyone must join hands and fight to remove Mnangagwa. He is the common enemy, and everyone must fight to have Mnangagwa out. Geza Revolution, Viva Geza Revolution.